was the priority to work on with Bo Levi Mitchell to ensure you guys would have a successful relationship this season, whether that was last year or was it in training camp?
I think it was just communication, making clear, what it was that we expect from the quarterback position, and just Bo getting on board with that. And sometimes it's a little different when you change teams and change coordinators and different systems and stuff. That was really the biggest thing. That wasn't something that Bo was hurt last year when I got here, so we really didn't have any time to kind of mesh and figure that out. That was probably the biggest difference this offseason.
You have a conversation with Scott about something. He doesn't just say it and then ask you to leave. He has clips and he's going to show you right now. And that's what I respect about him so much. It's he's always got evidence of doing what he's doing and why he's doing it. So I think sitting down, him showing me the clips of, hey, if you'd escaped the pocket here, if you'd got here 5 yards, and then showing me Matt and Taylor doing those things and saying that's why I'm going to let Matt start this game, right? It obviously hurts as a player, as a competitor, but it's a great moment to reflect and kind of look back and say, okay, well, in the beginning of my career, that's all I would do is continue to move the chains no matter what it took, scramble, not necessarily run for 50 yards, but just if it's 2-man, just run 5 yards, get a first down, and I think having that conversation with them, I think the uncomfortable part was probably just every single day getting out on the field and running and just pushing myself through things that I haven't done in a very long time. And that might sound easy or, whatever it might be, but when you haven't done it that way in a long time, I think having to watch yourself on film, it almost irks to see these plays where you're I can't believe that I was just sitting in the pocket just waiting to get hit rather than just scrambling up, getting out of the pocket and making a play.
We watched a lot of film. I showed him some film of past him, some things where I thought from a decision-making process, he can improve, and I think he agreed with that and embraced it.
I feel like you're the kind of guy that gets motivated for any game no matter what. Mm-hmm. But given some of the history that you've got with the Riders and then releasing you from training camp in 2019, what kind of emotions do you feel when you line up and you see that green and white?
Anger. I'm not going to lie. Anger, a lot of I remember last year it was last year was my game against SAS. I had 1,000 yards and I just kept telling myself I didn't forget. I forgive, but I don't forget. So just like a lot of teams around this league, what I'm saying? I forgive, but I don't forget. So I just feel like whenever I see that green and white, it definitely kicks me in another gear, gets my blood boiling a little bit. So I'm excited.
You've faced the Riders so many times in your career. How do you imagine this one will feel, though, with a former teammate of yours as head coach, but also Mark Mueller as their OC?
Yeah, I think anytime I've gone to Toronto to play those guys, I always talk to Mace and Bell before the game. I love those guys; they're awesome. They're obviously very well deserved of where they've gotten trajectory-wise in their career, and then Mueller coaching me for so long, we became very, very close. So. I'm proud of those guys. I definitely look forward to the battle, and I think the first time actually getting to make it happen, it's going to be tough. It's kind of similar to last week, is in the sense that Dave knows probably everything there is to know about me, right? As a player, as a person, and so to go against him in Monson, and they know every one of my tendencies, my strengths, my weaknesses. It's having to change some of those things for the game. So just making sure the same thing this week is not trying to change or do anything different of how I approach the game, but just being aware of what they understand and know about me and what they might be doing to counteract that.
The Riders have a few of your former defensive ends on their team, and a middle linebacker, who have added motivation coming in here. What are you expecting from this matchup?
I think both teams are going to have plenty of motivation. Obviously, we came off a loss. They're 1-0, and they're hoping to be 2-0 to go back home for their home opener. So I just never been one to take a lot of stock. And we're playing against this guy who was here, even last week with Bo. It's after that first play, it's over, and you're playing football. So really, it's us against them. It's not a mano-a-mano game, I don't think.
This week you're going to be facing two guys who used to play for you, in Carney and Thurman, and you really are going to be going up against them. What do you think about that?
I'm excited. Me and Jameer, we work out together every day during the off season, so that's my guy. And then obviously, me and Scoop's locker was right next to each other last year, so it's kind of a funny full circle. But obviously, I played against Scoop when he was here. When I was in BC, I played against Jameer when he was in Calgary and I was in BC, so I played against those guys. But obviously, two guys I really respect, two guys I know are going to be on my bumper, but I'm gonna make sure to tell them like, hey, remember we're friends. You don't gotta hit me that hard. You can you can let me down gently. You know what I'm saying? So just two guys I'm super excited to go against, and also Marcus Sales too, a guy that I was with in BC. So you know what I'm saying? So gonna be a bunch of familiar faces on the other side that I gotta tell like, hey, remember we're friends. Okay.
You'll be honoring and celebrating 25 years since you guys won your last Grey Cup. Now, given the circumstances of 25 years and the time gap, what are your thoughts on this celebration for the organization?
Well, I think it's nice. Obviously, we need to get back on that podium here before 25 years. But I think our guys are excited to see the former players. I think I was on that team. A number of guys that I know personally, that I played with in college, is on that team. So just more excitement for the home opener.